Hey, Inspired Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers. How's it going? It's Jean Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Hey, Coin Dragon, what's happening? Waiting for people to jump on here. We're healthy, we're wealthy, we're whole, we're free. That's important. And it remains the same. Thank you all for your wonderful comments on today's video. The plan. When we succeed, the whole world will know this story. And I would encourage you all, I'll put the link up there in the live chat. If you can, please, please share it everywhere. I mean, this is just something that is so important for people to know and realize. And we're going to dive right into it. I'll be honest with you guys. Thank you. Thank you all I welcome you all in live chat, Rumble, YouTube, everywhere. Wild Chill, Sparky, Deepa, Sharon, Met Girl. Let us know where you're tuning in the live chat. You won't believe this shit, what we're going to talk about today. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Also, I'm getting news updates here. Maxi, Little Light Warrior, good to see you. Making it live. Francois, good to see you. Marek, Miss Merkaba. Then we have Linda, Thomas, Tammy, Vicky, good to see you. Dan, okay. Thank you all. Let's dive into it. I got to dive into it. I'm actually, you can't make this shit up, folks. Okay. So, we're living and have been living through the greatest bullshit show in the last 2.5 years. Not that there isn't a lot of positive stuff going on. I talk about it in the video we posted this morning in the plan. Really important, but you can't make this shit up. How the media works, how these people think, how incredibly stupid they think we are. It's just ridiculous. In the Atlantic, which if this wasn't an article I could freely access, I would never ever pay a cent to read the Atlantic like I would with any mainstream media. As a matter of fact, all that you can use them for, physical papers, is to burn, is to start a fire with them. But in the Atlantic, an economics professor from Brown University, Emily Oster, came out and says, let's declare a pandemic amnesty. We need to forgive one another for what we did and said when we were in the dark about COVID. Okay, so she goes on and on and on in this article that's written in a condescending, typical, university kind of way. The condescending nature of how people made their choices, as if they're stupid and ignorant. Okay, let's dissect this. What she's saying in this article is that everything that we did and said, I don't know who we is, I think everyone, it's the government, it's the health agencies, it's the WHO, it's the Faucis and the Birx and the other psychopaths of this world, and the Tedros and the Gateses, and I assume everyone. And of course, what all we did, the social distancing, the face diapers, all the crap, the locked at home, the strict measures, the Nazi style, Gestapo style policing all over the world, the absolute economic destruction, annihilation, all of it. We should just forget about it. Let's declare an amnesty. You know what this is? This is pure fear. After media propaganda for 2.5 years, where they have lied, where they have cheated, where they have destroyed, where they have pure savages. These are the mainstream media scum of the earth, have lied to the people, have been complicit in the greatest conspiracy against mankind. And now they're coming out and saying we should declare amnesty. What a wonderful idea. We should just forgive and forget. Really? Really? We should forget that families were destroyed. We should forget that elderly people in nursing homes were dying behind glass walls alone. They couldn't see their families. People couldn't attend any funerals or anything. There was no closure. There was no humanity. We should forget that little children in kindergartens and school were separated from each other, have had face diapers put on their faces, and later got all that. We should forget all of that. We should forget that Dr. Fauci came out week after week after week after week, and not a single word of truth came out of his mouth. Mr. Flip-Flop himself We should ignore that we had the science on freaking face diapers. We all knew what these things can and cannot do because they cannot do a whole lot. We know that all studies have shown, and excuse me, I don't usually cite studies code because studies show that what studies show depends on who pays for them. But that was something that was abundantly clear. Why do surgeons wear face diapers? So their saliva doesn't accidentally drop into a patient's open tummy or something like that. That's why they use that crap. And even that, in Scandinavia, a lot of hospitals quit doing it because it just didn't make a freaking difference. It just didn't. So, okay, so we have that. We have all the freaking data. We've had data, hard, solid data on all these measures. And let me make one thing clear again. Dear fact checkers, dear YouTube, prove to me that it isn't the actual measures of the governments and the prostitutes, the prostitutes in the media that created all this crap, but it was the actual pandemic that created it. What we see in the world today was solely orchestrated by a conglomerate of government, private sector, and media that destroyed the whole world for their own agenda. And their measures, the way they reacted, is what created all this upheaval. And now they want to come out and declare amnesty. Sure, they want that because they know the time is coming for them to pay up. They know the time is coming where they're going to have to face justice, where they're going to have to face the people, where justice will be delivered. And my friends at the Atlantic and everywhere else, forget about amnesty. Forget about forgive and forget. That's not going to happen. You're going to have to face justice. You're going to have to experience the consequences of the horrific things you have done to the people over such a long period of time. Your lies, your deception, your cheating, all that crap, it's now coming back. Guess what? That's karma. Karma is karma's not a bitch. Karma's a mirror. So you reap what you sow, friends, and here you're going to reap what you sow, and it's going to go down just like that. So don't even try coming out and talking about amnesty and let's just forget, oh, well, we were left in the dark. Bullshit. What about the thousands and thousands of doctors that were laid off, that were discriminated against, that were kicked out of the medical system, that were threatened and killed because they actually put forth data that was accurate, because they actually presented things? What about the cancellations? What about the destruction of businesses? What about the thousands and thousands of channels, of media channels and truth seekers that were simply removed from mainstream media? What about the censorship? What about the complete destruction of free speech? What about the destruction of political opponents? What about the woke cancel culture? What about the protests? What about the burning down of cities? Everything cost because of the hatred, the vile hatred the media and the governments and the people have spewed over the last 2.5 years. You think we're going to let that down? No, we're not. We're not. You're going to pay up. You are going to pay up because that's how balance works, because that's how the universal laws work. That's what karma is, and that's how the cycle works. Yes, of course, that's going to have to happen in an organized manner. And we're finally cleaning up justice systems as well, so this can happen. But there will be tribunals. There will be Nuremberg. There will be consequences. So don't you come out and write that crap. It just boggles the mind how people could even have the audacity to put that on paper, put that in print, and then go on TV and then repeat that crap. Repeat that crap on all the stations and say, oh, we just didn't know. Really? Really? You cut off every freaking expert that came on camera. You cut off everyone who had something different to say. You brought us false pictures. You brought us false videos. You brought us fake stories. You brought us thousands and thousands of deaths that weren't deaths, that were traffic accidents. Something tested positive for something, and all of a sudden that was the cause of death. It wasn't the accident. It wasn't the shot. It wasn't the gun. It wasn't the bullet that killed them. No, it was what they tested for. You brought us fake tests. You brought us all this crap. You were the cheerleaders. You were the sellers. You were the propaganda machine. You, the Emily Osters and colleagues of this world, you did that. So now you face the consequences. No amnesty. Hell no. Hell no amnesty. You know how many children died? You know how many elderly died? You know how many people died? You know how many suicides, how much destruction? You can't even possibly put this in numbers. And so, no way, Jose. That's not going to happen. Inspired Tribe, I encourage you all to never, ever even consider that. Don't you ever forget what they did. Not because we want revenge, but that is the cycle of life. That is the cycle and how it works. And here it's coming to fruition. All of this is going to come to fruition. There's not going to be enough courtrooms. There's not going to be enough judges. There's not going to be enough juries to even deal with the crap that's coming down the pipeline. Yeah? So, no, absolutely not. And this is just maddening. It's crazy and it's ludicrous, but that's how crazy these people are. That's how they think. And don't you think that that's just one single lady that coincidentally had a spot in the Atlantic where she could write about that? This is how these people operate. They're so far removed from reality. They're so far removed from how people think and feel. They think they're above everyone. They think that they can go and lie and cheat and kill and then get away with it and tell everyone, why don't we just forget about it? We were left in the dark about COVID. We didn't know. There was no clear evidence. Well, yes, there was. Look at the world today. Look at people, how people have been, they've been put down into second-class citizen categories. They've been put into concentration camps. They have been beaten to death because they weren't wearing a mask walking through the woods alone at night. We had rules. I remember our friends and family in Austria, where until 10 at night, you could walk on the sidewalk without a mask. After 10 p.m., you had to wear a mask. People had to show digital ID, a passport, to go get a fucking cup of coffee. Families were destroyed. Millions of businesses lost forever. Economies shattered. And you want to call for amnesty? Fuck that. That's not going to happen. Not this way. No. No, no, no. Justice is coming. The right way. By the book. By the book. And that's going to be your problem. You're going to do this by the book. And it is coming. So you better lawyer up or whatever you want to do, because you're going to need it. You're going to need it. We're not going to let this down. All right. I went on a rant here, and every now and then it has to happen. I also want you to see this side of me. You know, I'm not hiding it. I'm a passionate guy. I don't care if you think this is wrong or you shouldn't show you're angry. I'm angry of course I'm angry. Of course I'm angry. I have a 93-year-old grandmother, okay? 93, and she's in pretty good shape. And I can't go and see her. She's not even in a nursing home. It's just that the way travel restrictions work these days, I can't go and see her. I can't go and see my 93-year-old grandmother because these fuckers created the greatest scam in human history. And so, there will be no amnesty. There will be justice. And people deserve it. Mankind deserves it. It has to happen. There's something to be said for that. Because every system, every family system, every society system, all tribes, everyone has a justice system. Because when there is no balance, there is warfare, there is violence, there is aggression, all these things. Where there is balance, when people actually face their own actions through the consequences, balance can be restored and societies can remain peaceful. Where there's a good, a healthy, a working justice system. And that always needs to include, I'm not saying our justice system is anywhere close to great, because it so often doesn't include the forgiveness process. It doesn't include a proper healing process. We all need to implement that. And I've talked about this at length. But if there is no justice for the perpetrators, victims can't find closure. And it isn't fair. And it's not how it's supposed to work. If you kill someone, you need to pay for that. That's just how it is. If you do wrong, you need to pay for it. That is how it is. That is how it is. That's the most natural thing. You attack a lion cub, watch what the mother's going to do. That is just nature, friends. And yes, we've come to the place where we are creating systems for that. We've come to the place where we have systems in place. That's why I said this needs to be done by the book. This needs to be done. There need to be juries. There need to be judges. There needs to be a proper process. So no one can say afterwards it wasn't done right. But it will happen. Mark my words, it will happen. Inspired Tribe, thank you for your attention. Thank you for allowing me to rant, because sometimes that needs to happen. And I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. My love for mankind and my love for justice and my love for fairness is very, very strong, and probably stronger than for most people. But I'm not hiding it. This is how I roll. Truth, freedom, authenticity, justice, all these things are important to us. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining us. And we'll be with you again very, very soon.